Hi, my name's Mark Squire, Good Earth Natural Foods, and I get asked a lot of questions about local, and I think all of us are very, want to see the local thing happen for multiple reasons. It makes a whole lot of sense. Transportation is one of the huge problems on the planet right now, and just all the fossil fuels that go into moving product around is, literally killing us all in the long run. So. Um, I've come to look at the local issue as, a great big complicated problem that we can all do little pieces of. But I always want to remember that the goal is really local communities and self-sustainability in local communities. And we are way far from that ideal at this point. So I always feel like when Good Earth is buying from local farmers or sourcing from local companies, we're sort of doing our best to make it to move in the right direction. But we have a long way to go, and until we really recreate our whole, really the way we build our communities, we're going to have these dilemmas in our face of not quite getting there. So I just always want to encourage people to remember the big picture, which we're years and years away from, of truly sustainable and local communities, which I think is what we all want to see happen.
Do you see us going in that direction? Do you see that happening?
I feel like it's not only one of those things that we will go there, but we have to go there. So it may take us, many years to really get to the point we have to be. But that is made up of slow steps. We do try and at Good Earth, source from local farmers as much as we can, local companies as well. But there's an awful lot of product that we're all consuming every day that comes from long way away. So I see it as the more we embrace that ideal, the better off we'll be. And we all have to kind of be forgiving for the fact that I would never make anybody wrong for eating bananas, which obviously are probably never never be a local commodity. And yet it has to be real. We can all sort of be compassionate for each other for not hitting that goal, and yet continually strive for that at the same time, and I don't see those as contradictory.
Well, some foods though, they're grown in other climates and everything, so it's obviously not going to be a local thing. We have to import like bananas or
right. So
mangoes.
To me, it's a matter of degree. If the only things that we consumed that weren't local were some of those commodities, like perhaps coffee is another good example of people really want coffee. It probably should have a price attached to it that really contains the cost of shipping it across thousands of miles, and the environmental damage resulting from that, no matter how consciously you try and move the product. So but if all our non-local consumption was confined to those kind of products, then it wouldn't be that much of a deal. In fact, there's this honestly, there's this huge history of mankind, doing that, trading for commodities that are rare in their own environment. So there's a long history of it, and I think it could be done fairly environmentally.
Well, you do it environmentally here, right? I mean, all the stuff you get, say from South America or something, is organic, and I mean, you do the checks and.
Well, again, we try and do it as consciously as we can. But would I say that there's no environmental damage? No, because probably fossil fuels is the bringing a container of coffee up from South America is at this point relying on fossil fuel consumption, and the more we can break away from that, we're actually using biodiesel in our food production for schools in Marin County, and I would be the last one to tell you that that's a perfect solution.
Yeah.
But I do believe that it does present, moving, I call it pushing the envelope.
Absolutely.
Like, the more environmental sustainable that we become, the better off we are. And again, it's like, moving product around the county, I think, is even, not the best ideal. I keep saying, I've said this to some of the politicians in Marin, that schools should really be serving and cooking their own food, and for Good Earth to go around the county in vans dropping off food. It's a move in the right direction, organic food to kids, but is it the ideal? No, it's not. So I think we're always trying to move it forward, and I think as long as we're all doing that as much as we can in our world, we will hopefully survive as a species.